on in, join the fun. Thank you. Oh boy, it's going to get settled here. Oh, I'm blocking the slides. Am I okay to stand here, Faith? All right, we will go ahead and get started while everyone is settling in. Welcome to Social Media Beverage Madison. If this is your first time, if you're returning, welcome as well. A little bit about us. We have free social media education events the third Wednesday of every single month. Our next event will be on September 18th, and we meet here every single Wednesday. I am a board member. We also have additional board members. If they could raise their hand, give them a shout out. Hey. Connect with us on social media. I run all of our social media. So yeah, connect with us. Stay up to date on everything that's happening. We have more than just our lovely free events on every third Wednesday of the month. We have so much going on, so many ways you can participate. Who is here from Forward Fest? Raise your hand. Raise them high. Raise them proud. That is awesome. Well, thank you for coming. And a sincere thanks to all of our Forward Fest sponsors. It's great to be a part of this wonderful event. For this month's nonprofit spotlight, we have Box of Balloons. They were found in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, and they are now recognized across the United States, which is amazing. They help make each birthday happy for children, and they create boxes. So I don't know if you can check them out in the back of the room if you have not already, but they prepare birthday boxes for children, which is really amazing. You can also connect with them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and their website. And if you want to make a difference, you can become a volunteer or donate, and you can attend their October fundraiser as well. Thank you to our sponsors. You'll notice our photographer around the room. That is Steph Shanks. She is amazing. She also does our headshots, so shout out to Steph. And up next is Andy from Dream Bank.
Thanks so much, and good morning, everyone. Just out of curiosity's sake, is this anyone's first time attending Forward Fest? Look at that. That's awesome. Anyone's first time attending Dream Bank? All right, we got a handful. Wonderful. So a little bit about Dream Bank, where you are. Dream Bank is put on by American Family Insurance, and everything we do is meant to ladder up towards the inspiration and pursuit of dreams, in large part by helping to remove barriers for individuals. So how that shakes out is three main ways. So the largest one being the events that we host. We host anywhere between 6 to 15 free events a month that are all organized through the lens of personal and professional development. I happen to head up our business series. So we had a wonderful event yesterday, AI and Small Business with Pat Miller, which was recorded and will be aired on our YouTube page after that. But we have a lot of events that are geared towards overcoming obstacles and barriers in dream pursuit. So check out all of our upcoming events at our website, which is amfam.com/dreambank. In addition to the events that we host, we have a wonderful drop-in co-working space that I know a handful of you have utilized. But our hours of operation to the community are Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. So you're always able to come in and have a quietish place to work. We've got some smaller collaboration rooms that you can utilize for meetings, interviews, phone calls, things of that nature. And then lastly, we have a very robust and interactive exhibit all the way at the back of the space that rotates a handful of times a year. They're always rooted in positive psychology, meant to embody some of the beliefs and values of the organization. And the theme with this one is building your dream. So a lot of really cool design thinking concepts and principles in your dream pursuit, such as you know where you're at right now in your dream pursuit. You ultimately know where you want to be. How do you kind of navigate the middle part, which is traditionally the hardest part? And then lastly, If you folks were ever interested in booking out the space too, we offer it up to community members free of charge as well when our program is not taking place. So rooms such as this, we can seat about 100 people in here stadium style. We have a partition that we can close for smaller types of events. Then we have an annex space at the front of the building we refer to as our library. Really great for sort of team building activities, board meetings, things of that nature. But if you were curious about any of that, I'd be happy to answer any of those questions. And with that, I will go ahead and kick it back.
And you can also check out Dream Bank's events on our social media. Another plug. Enjoy free coffee on us. We do give away YOLO's gift cards every single event, and we'll be giving away two today. So you'll have to stay tuned to see how you can win one. Help us write this month's recap. So we've seen that you've been taking notes, big or small, let's hear them all. You can scan this QR code that I'm currently in the way of and share your notes with us. And this is one way to win a YOLO's gift card. So we will pick someone who shares their lovely notes with us, and they will win a YOLO's gift card. Up next, we have Bryant sharing You've Got Mail, Unlocking the Power of Email Marketing. Give him a loud round of applause as he will unlock the power of email marketing with us.
I think this one works too. I think this one works too. I'm good on that. I can cut that one off. She didn't want to say my last name. I know that she didn't. I'll give each of you a YOLO's gift card if you can pronounce my last name correctly. All right, let me swap over here. Excuse me a second. Over to Canva. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Like I said, yeah, this is You Got Mail, Unlocking the Power of Email Marketing. Just a quick crowdsourced show of hands. How many people right now are on the, or maybe you are the digital marketing team at your place of work? You do digital marketing. Wonderful. Awesome spread. And then how many people or brands or companies are not yet doing email marketing, or maybe you're not on the team yet? Is there somebody that's maybe brand new to this? Good. Okay. We have some good, very beginners. This presentation is a little, it's I call it 101 level, 201, and even I don't want to say super advanced, but there's kind of something here for everybody. That's really is what I'm aiming for. First and foremost, again, who am I? My name is Bryant Vander Weerd. That's how you pronounce my last name. Bryant Vander Weerd. I do a lot of different things. About 50% of my time is spent working at Full Pour Media. So I own and run Full Pour Media. We're a digital marketing agency, really a creative agency for the food and beverage world. I've worked a lot in town with breweries and are kind of moving upwards into the food, like the restaurant and food world as well. And then the other portion of my time, I am what I'm calling a freelance digital marketer. I do a lot of photography, videography, but I also work with small businesses, medium-sized businesses, even worked with companies, University of Iowa and things like that, designing motion graphics. We do websites, and then a lot of what I'll do is consultation on things like digital marketing and email marketing. So here's what I'm kind of here to spread the love here today. As I'll get into, email marketing, when done well, can be super, super powerful. Probably going to end up standing on this side. I don't know. Want me to skew to that side? Okay, I'll kind of just go back and forth. First of all, did anybody see this breaking news this morning? Elon Musk is going to buy Meta and plans to completely wipe out the social media network as of the end of the year. Anybody else feel like their digital marketing strategy just went completely out the window? If this actually happened, this did not happen, this is hypothetical, but if this actually happened, how many of you would be just completely screwed digitally? this is the point that I'm trying to, I'm going to be driving home here in a little bit, is a lot of brands, a lot of people are putting a lot of their eggs in one basket, in the Meta basket, or maybe, they've got a website, they kind of set it and forget about it, and then most of it is social media. And obviously there is a huge, I do a lot of social media every day. There's a huge value for it. There's a huge, we're live on social media. We're live on Meta right now. There's a huge market for it. But it doesn't need to be the only thing that you're doing. The more you diversify, the better off your marketing strategy will be. One of the biggest reasons for that is you do not own your social media followers. You have worked hard for them, you've earned them, and you deserve them, but you do not own them. You do own your email list, the people who have subscribed to your email updates. Case in point, within a month ago, I have a brewery client down in Verona, and we were staying with Constant Contact, but we were switching from this account, which had kind of gone defunct, to a newer account with a discount. So we had to completely, reset everything. We had no access to this old account. I had no way to get in. It was just, you would log in and it would say, pay us money and keep going. But I had to call 1-800 Constant Contact and say, hey, we're going to do this thing. Like, can you please send me all of our contacts? It's like 5,000 contacts. Can you please send me all of these email contacts? Sure. Done. Send, download, done. Try to do that to Facebook. If if your account gets hacked, if you whatever, and want a list of all of your follower data, they're just gonna, you don't own that. They own all of that. So this is one of the bigger differences that I always float out there, is what happens when Elon Musk decides to buy Meta and just completely wipe things out. Everybody goes, oh crap. So kind of getting into it a little bit more here is always like the what's in it for me, right? Like why is email important? Obviously, we've touched on one of the biggest things, which is that you own your list. But looking at things like engagement rates and open rates as well. So going back to that social media example, if you're getting like a 1 to 3% engagement rate on your posts, you're doing great. If you're getting 3%, you're doing awesome. I'll toss my phone over here. But look at the open rate for email, 34%. A third of your entire list will at least open it. I mean, that's the same as reach on Facebook. That's the same as engagement on Facebook. If they're clicking something, if they're interacting with it, if they're sharing it, 4%. So touch on this many times in this presentation, but your email list, your email followers are way more bought in to your brand. They're way more buying what you're selling. It can lead to some really good results too. Sure. Oh, my clip it. Okay. Gotcha. Yes. They are. Yeah. Sure. And I move around a lot too. I gesticulate. All right. So again, why is email important? I love throwing out some stats and numbers here. 60% of consumers state that they have made a purchase as a result of an email. I mean, everybody here. Now we're getting into back to school. Now we're getting into Black Friday. We're getting into the holidays. This is one of the biggest times for e-commerce. This is one of the biggest times for email marketing. And the numbers show it too. I mean, 60% of people versus 12.5% of that same cross section of people who were surveyed would even consider a buy button on social media as a purchase driver. So if you're relying on social to sell your products or to increase memberships, increase traffic, whatever, it's almost a 5-time. You're going to be 5 times more worth your money to speak to your email crowd versus your social crowd. Another reason email is important is just that big old ROI. We just talked about purchase behaviors, etc. When done right, email has a 40 to 1 ROI, which means for every $1 you spend, you can expect to make about 40 $40. And actually that number is kind of growing. It's somewhere in between 40 and 45 to 1 ROI. And this one here says 44. So customers are going to spend 138% more when marketed to through email versus people who don't receive email offers. They're way more bought in. A quick case study again from my side of things. This was another brewery client here in town so it was the end of year last year. They were pushing a very specific seasonal product, and we sent out an email. Check my numbers here. They had about, I think it was a 2,000-ish person email list. So we sent out an email blast that kind of invites folks to this new membership program that they're doing, kind of this new annual membership. Sent it out on Thursday, and by the end of the weekend, they had somewhere between 20 and 30 signups for that membership, which was like $5,000 for them. That email probably took me, from conception to sending, it was probably 2 hours. 2 hours of my time valued, it was probably maybe $200 worth of investment to get 5,000 back. I think there's your ROI right there. When it's done very strategically, when it's done tactfully, it can be worth your time. Now, when it comes to choosing an ESP, an email service provider, there are a lot. There are a lot of options. There's kind of an embarrassment of riches out there. It's really a choose your character game. It's finding the best fit for you. These are some of the top 6. We personally at Fullport use MailChimp, but I have clients in every single one of these. I always just kind of defer to if they've already got something set up. Obviously, that's what's been working for them, and that's really what I would like to preach to you as well. Is there are so many different main characters that you can play kind of in this game, and by and large, they all do very, very similar things now. Everybody's competing. Everybody's kind of trying to stay within this and that of each other, but there are some kind of separations that some are better for e-com, some are better for just kind of based on what you have. Heck, even if your website is designed in Square itself can send out emails. So taking a look at kind of what your needs are, where you want to go with your email sending, excuse me, taking a look at where you are and where you want to go is important. A couple questions to ask yourself, to ask your team, how big is your current list? Is it 0 or is it 5,000? Because you will, pretty much all of these will charge you per tier, 0 to 1,000, 0 to 2,000, or then there's 2 to 5 and 5 to 10. So how big is it now? And then what are you aiming for 6 months from now? Because that is going to change your price. And then how often are you going to communicate with your list? A lot of these ESPs will say you get 10,000 emails a month, but if you got if you have a 10,000 person email list, then you better just be able to if you want to just send 1 email out a month, then that's great. But okay, if you want 2, now your price is going to almost double. So these little tiny adjustments can make some big price differences. What level of automation will you need? I'll get into automation in a minute, but I believe all of these have very basic automations, but there's, drip campaigns and customer journeys. This is like super, super high level stuff that we won't get into here. We could be all day talking about all these things. But basic automations really exist on most of these. It's just kind of what kind of advanced other things, again, e-commerce, otherwise, are you going to need? And then just what's your budget? How much money do you have to spend on it? Do you need to stay within a certain amount? So we've gone through. We understand it's worth our time. It's worth our while. We picked our ESP. How the heck do we even get started, right? It's kind of a 3-step. I'm turning this into a 3-step action plan to really get off the ground and get going. Attracting folks, growing your list with something called lead magnets. Once you have your list, whatever size, kind of segmenting it into different pieces based on who these people are, and then how to nurture these people and really make them feel super special. First part, again, being lead magnets. What is a lead magnet? You have probably engaged with it, but you may not know what it is. A lead magnet is a free and valuable piece of content or a discount or something that you provide in exchange for your email address. It is the Facebook post that says, here's your get 20% off, men's pants. And then you click on it. It's like, give us your email and we'll send you the coupon. Well, now they own your email address until you unsubscribe. That was the carrot at the end of the stick that they dangled for you. A good lead magnet is a lot of different things. A good lead magnet is delivered immediately. That goes back to that automations piece that we were talking about earlier. Ideally within as instantaneously as you can do, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We live in Amazon's world now. We can get things delivered in hours. You should deliver your digital asset within minutes. A good lead magnet should drive people to action. It should obviously, like going back to that discount thing, purchase a product, attend an event, drive physical traffic to a store, or drive traffic to a website. A good lead magnet is easily used, easily consumed. It's more of that quick, ready to go. If it is something like a discount, there's ways, again, going back to like specific ESPs that are maybe made for e-commerce, something that has a barcode in the email that the person just goes, here's my email, or here's this, here's the actual email, and then the clerk scans it and you're done. And then a good lead magnet should be kind of dealing with that carrot at the end of the stick. It should be an appetizer. It should be relevant to your other product offerings, a nice little neat and tidy cross section of your fuller product offerings that give people a taste and make them want more. So we've grown our list. Maybe you started out with an email service provider and you had 0. And it's okay, so now let's say you've grown with lead magnets. You've got 3 different lead magnets out there and you've grown to 100, 200, 300 people, what have you. Doing something called audience segmentation will help you keep things organized. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You can have, a file folder just full of papers, or you can have little tabs, and you can have little, this is for this is my taxes, this is this and that. This is my daughter's birth certificate, etc. Email audience segmentation, involves dividing your email community into smaller lists by various topics. What lead magnet did they click on? Is it the ebook? Is it the 10% discount? Is it this and that? What specific thing, piqued their interest enough for them to give you that intimate piece of information? Demographics is one, that's, male, female, otherwise. Geography, where you live, whether it's just North Madison, South Madison, or maybe it's New York and Florida. How far away, the way that you target certain people in New York will be different the way that you target them in Florida. Geography again, their spending habits, what kinds of products do they engage with, as well as even email specific things like these people really don't open our emails all that often. So they kind of get, sometimes your ESP, your service provider, will suggest certain audience segmentations. Hey, these people really haven't engaged with you too much. Launch a campaign to specifically target these people. And it could just be how they are as a consumer. Maybe they just don't interact, but maybe there could be something that you can tweak on your end to sweeten the deal for them, to kind of bump that up a little bit more. So the more, you can absolutely just have one big old list of email followers and that's it. But the more that you segment these things, the better and the more targeted your messaging can be. So think about that. If you have a list segment of that 10% off Slacks lead magnet that we were talking about, if you want to send out another, loyal customer discount, those would be the people to target first, right? Because they are maybe the most budget conscious. They are maybe the most sensitive to deals. So that kind of thing can lead to better open rates. So, the people that you target through that, maybe it's not a 35% open rate, maybe it's a 55% open rate. Maybe it's higher than that because they're listening, they're more tuned into that side of it. And then better click-through rates as well, Open rates and click-through rates are two of the biggest metrics when it comes to email marketing. Open rates, very obvious, how many people actually open your email. And then click-through rates are what percentage of those people then click a link to go through to your website, to go through to something else? That's even more, they're even more engaged. So you can see how segmenting and targeting very specific emails, very specific pieces of content can lead to better open rates and better click-through rates. These people are a lot more engaged. And then lower unsubscribe rates too. You know, obviously you want to keep your unsubscribes down as much as possible, and you do that through directing relevant content to people. We've attracted people with our lead magnet. We've divided them up. We're nice and organized, and we're sending the right people the right messages. Overall, somebody providing, you providing your email address to Social Media Breakfast, to whatever brand that you choose to engage with, that's kind of, I use the word intimate, but I mean, it's a very direct kind of way to talk with somebody. And your personal inbox, sometimes, I know people like my dad's got this is my email box for spam, that I sign up for newsletters this way. Some people have it, have it that way, but a lot of people this is my personal email. This is what my mom and my dad also email me on, that I'm also getting, REI discounts on. So it's important because of that to nurture the community as much as possible and really not just be this cold, faceless brand that's just kind of trying to shout marketing speak at them. It's important, the things that we kind of push at Full Pro Media and just in general when I'm doing these consultations is being a lot more approachable, is being a lot more human as much as possible. There's a lot of ways that you can nurture that community. First and foremost, this is a rule for website, for a lot of digital nowadays is mobile first. People are going to be looking at things on their phones before they open up a big clunky computer nowadays. So the cleaner you can make your emails look, the more mobile friendly you can have your emails be, the better. If somebody opens up your email and it's all on their phone and it's all jumbly and text is broken and things like that, done. That's going to kick up their unsubscribe rates. Something called merge tags can help personalize emails. When people sign up, usually I'll do, hey, give us your email address and your first name. And then that first name goes into their customer list. And when you're writing the email, you can say, hey, and then insert something called a merge tag. Hey, first name, and then write the rest of your email. That will say, hey, Bryant, hey, Faith, hey, this person, that person. So if you can imagine, it comes across a little bit more approachable. It's not just hello customer or to whom it may concern. Having something that says, hey, Bryant, is a lot more welcoming. It's like, we know that they're not personally writing 5,000, 10,000 emails, but it helps on my end. We're all very self-centric people. This is kind of goes without saying, kind of doesn't, just amazing content. Go for amazing content every time. Like, think about the tone that you're using. Folks work, small businesses, everybody works to build up their social media following and make it look a certain way, make it sound a certain way. People invest a lot of money in their website, making it look and sound a certain way. Email should be the same, making sure that your tone matches your brand. Are you using humor? What kind of visuals are you using? Is it bright? What's the color palette? Everything should be very cohesive across your social, across your email, across your website. And sometimes if you have a physical store, even within the physical store too. It's a seamless customer experience. And then keeping it short and sweet is great as well. In my experience, gone are the days of large email digests that are 500-800 words. People aren't sitting down and ingesting any kind of content long term anymore. So the shorter and the sweeter you can make it, the better. We kind of aim for like that 200 words or less, even if it is an email newsletter or kind of an email update. 200 words or less is really that sweet spot. And going back to open rates, going back to click-through rates, even having more wordy emails or less wordy emails can affect those, because people just, if there's a link way at the bottom, is like, I don't have time for this, or I'll read it later, then they never do. So keeping it short will help your open rates and your click-through rates too. Going back to that idea of providing that intimate piece of digital footprint, treating your email audience like the exclusive club that it is. You know, these people have entrusted you with a very direct piece of access to them. And we kind of go back and preach, this is the time to really make your email folks feel special. We'll give email folks, at minimum a day, maybe even a week, pre-sale for this product or this thing that comes out. And then you release it to the general public, but you're also saying like, hey, our email community got first crack at this new release or at this membership, or our email community got 5% off, 10% off of this membership, whatever it is that you're trying to push. You can, at the same time, make your email community feel special. Excuse me. Make your community feel special. That's additional social content for everybody. And then that's, in a way, kind of a lead magnet. It's attracting folks to your email. Hey, if you want to be like these other cool kids, send us your email. So you're creating content as you're creating more content. Speaking directly, again, going back to like merge tags, speak directly to this community. That, again, this is like I always try to think like you're writing a letter to somebody. It's your time to be a little bit more, wordy is a bad word, but it's your time to dive a little bit more, tell more of your story, to dig deeper into who you are as a brand. Again, keeping that length in mind, 200 words or less. But your social's got to be super abbreviated. You're not going to write a big old 200-word caption on social. Ain't nobody going to read it. But you can kind of tease some content on social and then break into more of it in email. There's micro content, there's big content. Again, this is like super high level stuff. But the point being that I want to drive home is this is your chance to speak directly to your most intimate and your most bought in followers. And then the final thing here is to use a personable from line. It's not like info at, it's not taproom at, it's Bryant at, or it's your first name at. That's customizable within your ESP as well. You can kind of verify your domain and have it be a specific name, so it looks like it's coming from a person rather than just from generic info robot at, because a lot of spam will filter that out too. Those are my big three. Those are my big three right here. I'm going to give y'all a bonus document, and then I love to bring people, give people some bring home kind of things. I apologize. This is like very formatted for breweries because it was this deck that I made a while ago, but the content within it is all the same. We're talking about picking. It's a big old deck. It's a big old note that is. Talking about pick your email service provider, and kind of we can brainstorm some lead magnets, and you can do this and that. So building an email campaign just for your brand, maybe not your brewery. If you own a brewery, you could do that too. But I can pop that open too. I don't specifically have the link. I was thinking I should open that up and just kind of walk folks through it, because I know that we do have a little bit more time. But it covers a lot of what we talked about in here today. Is really just to kind of walk everybody through their first initial steps. Maybe again, if you've already got your service provider picked out, you've already got a list. You can still use it to brainstorm. You can still use it to kind of here's the lead magnet that we want to do. It's really meant to be this kind of turnkey approach. Thank you very much. Quick and sweet. This one is, and I wanted to kind of leave ample time to open it up to questions, or even afterwards. I will be around here and to discuss a little bit more with folks that want to. But I'm open to questions. I'm here and around. If anybody's got anything we can chat about. Yes, sir.
So something that I recently ran into, I started working at a place with a established email list. They gave me my own email. We used MailChimp. I did the personalized intro and stuff like that, and sent it out to an established list that did have people that were engaging with it. And we found out too late that the first 2 emails at least went to spam. And this was MailChimp in particular.
Right.
And I'm wondering, is there any tips you have for avoiding that? In terms of, I know with a brand new email list, sure could happen, but in this case, it was an established one.
Yeah.
Is there any, and maybe it's too specific a problem, but
No, especially lately, there's been a lot more like tightening of email privacy. So there could be just some, I don't know what obviously like what that gap was between when they last sent and when you started. But there has been, even within this year, just some tightening up of email privacy issues that could be part of that. There could be, yeah, that's a deep dive. It's a good deep dive question for sure. But nowadays, just as a consumer-wide kind of thing, there are a lot more consumer protections against anti-spam, and a lot of folks, my brands included, are kind of seeing that as an issue. And I've had success. We ran into that on a client that has Klaviyo, and their internal support. I haven't needed MailChimp's internal support, so I'm not sure what that one would be. But Klaviyo's was awesome, and they were pretty helpful with that. So that's one vote for Klaviyo. They have really good customer service for sure. If you were in the market to switch, but yeah, it is an issue. The things getting filtered to spam is quite an issue. The email service providing companies and then the emails, your Gmails and your Yahoos of the world are kind of always at odds. So that's why I do kind of try that as much personalization and things as possible. But again, like you just said, it could still happen. So it's always a A/B testing process. Blue.
We have a few online questions.
Online questions. Okay.
Are there any email vendors that are HIPAA compliant for healthcare?
Oh my. I do not work in the HIPAA world, so I do not feel qualified to talk about that, unfortunately. But that's a great question. Yeah, HIPAA compliant. I don't have any healthcare clients, so I would unfortunately not be able to say that. But I would imagine that any ESP who would tout that very, very heavily. That said, maybe they could all be as well. But certainly, yeah, that would be obviously a big deciding factor for whoever picks that one.
Sure. And then we have another online question. If a partner gives you their email for an event but doesn't opt in, can we still include them in our email marketing campaigns?
Yeah. So if somebody gives you their email for an event but doesn't opt into a larger campaign, can you still do it? That's where I would go with something called double opt-in, where if you send them a confirmation email like, hey, thanks for signing up for this. Well, it'll go two ways. You could either do, hey, if you sign up for this, this is the way that I like to do it because there's fewer friction points. If you just say like, hey, sign up for this and we'll send you lots of updates or this and that. And then they sign up, they get event invites. And because of that, they've already signed up and they're getting this. Again, they can unsubscribe if they want to. Another way to do it is, hey, they give you your email for the event, send them a confirmation. And within that email, you can say, hey, if you want to hear more from us, click over here and confirm this way. That's just another kind of point, like opt-in, double opt-in kind of thing. Both of them are ethical. Both of them are within the bounds of legality. I think it's just which fits the brand. A lot of people, I don't want to, force something on someone. And if you're not comfortable with it, please don't do it. I would take that second route then. If that was something that you wanted them to be like double, triple sure that they absolutely wanted to hear from you beyond that event.
And then who was in the blue?
Third, yes.
Hey. You just want to hold this like a boy here.
Hi, Bryant. My name is Brishon, and I imagine that subject lines have an impact on click open rates. Do you have any advice on crafting a good subject line?
Subject lines are the number one way to do A/B testing. Anybody here that's done like Facebook ads, etc. Subject lines are like the most awesome way to do it. You could just send. You don't even have to have segmentation for that one, right? Is just like send half of your email list one subject line, half your other, and see which one performs better. But yeah, subject line is kind of the that first sort of knock at the door. We've had some. That's really your time to get as as creative as you can when it comes to that, without being misleading, without being clickbaity, anything like that. That is somewhere to really get like super creative.
A follow-up to that question, which
Yep.
thank you. That was going to be my question too. There's been a lot of, hey, use AI to spice up your subject line. Has there been any data as to whether those actually give a better click-through or not?
I'm sure that there is. I, in general, take the idea of AI as a tool for a larger purpose. Hey, write me 10 subject lines, and then maybe I'll A/B test 2 of them but customize them a little bit more. That's really where I would go with it. Yeah, I'm sure that there is specific data around AI written lines, but when it comes to like brand period and brand voice period, like AI can't really replicate the brand voice. So I always am going to advocate for human touch to kind of polish off what AI starts for you.
Hi, Brian. I'm Kyle. You talked about why doing customer segmentation is a good idea, but can you maybe give us some examples of where customer segmentation can go wrong or some pitfalls to avoid in that?
Where customer segmentation can go wrong and pitfalls to avoid. Yeah, that's another good question. I think having too much segmentation can be bad. It's important to I'm trying to put this in the best way possible. Just don't get overly detailed on anybody. If it's like your larger email list, and then I usually go with like one customer tag per person or per group of people. When it comes to going wrong specifically, when I think about what you're asking is going wrong, I think you can go wrong by getting way too granular. That's really my kind of biggest piece of feedback is with that, is really just knowing a little bit, kind of like that initial sort of handshake networking event type of info about the person is really the best way to go. Not getting overly specific. If it's important that they are from New York or Florida, that's important, but I don't need to know everybody here is from New York or Florida. That doesn't necessarily make a difference to me. So I hope that was informative.
Hi, I am retired and I volunteer to help do marketing for Stage Pet. It's a mobile veterinarian company.
Right.
And I have 2 questions. One,
Sure.
what using images in email,
Mhm.
would you do it or will you not do it, or what's the open rates on those,
Yeah.
and kind of how effective are they?
Yeah, I certainly would. We're a visual people now. But yeah, there's size constraints and there's file size constraints as well that you need to make sure that they're under 2 megabytes, and just as quickly as they can load, the better. Because there's always that weird, because I obviously do a lot of photography, so there's always that weird race of like, I want it to be as small, I want the file to be as small as possible, but I want it to look as good as possible. So finding that line, finding that middle ground, and then obviously keeping it mobile optimized is going to be super important. But images, yeah, absolutely, graphics, etc.
Okay, and then my other question was, have you ever used emojis in the subject line, and have you ever A/B tested those?
Does it fit the brand is really what it goes back to. A lot of the folks that I work for, I've had I'm thinking about specific breweries. There are breweries that it works for their brand, and there are breweries that it doesn't. I would imagine for instead of mobile vet, that would probably be very emoji. But it really depends on the brand too. Are they a more serious, hey, we're going to take care of your dog when they're sick, or is it like a fun, happy kind of thing? I think you can't go wrong. It's just making sure that you're not overusing them, and then you kind of start to be childish, or maybe don't put emojis in every single one. Maybe there's just a couple. I think that could be a great place to A/B test as well. Is putting half with emojis, half without, may make a difference.
We have an online question. Any recommendations on rebranding an established newsletter without scarring off long-term engaged subscribers?
Rebranding, so there's an established newsletter that's been around for a while, and you want to kind of reformat it, and you don't want to scare off engaged subscribers. That's a great time, I think, to send out before the rebrand. Hopefully this has happened pre-rebrand. But I would say kind of to start things off, send them a survey, like just an open text box survey, hey, or whatever it is, surveymonkey.com or Google Forms. Hey, we're going to kind of retool some things. What do you like about this newsletter? What do you not like? Kind of going back to that 5,000 person email list on Constant Contact. We're just now kicking off that email list again after I think they canceled their account in September. So I'm kind of dealing with the same thing right now. And that's where I would go with it. That's where I'm planning to go with it is sending out that, hey, folks, like you're here. We know you're here. We want you to stay here. What do you like about what we've been doing? What do you not like about what we've been doing? Like, where can we change things up? That's kind of the initial thing. If it has, if you're kind of already in process, if maybe you've already sent out that initial rebranded email, I would make the transition as slow as possible. Where do you want this email to be and what is it now? And then maybe over the course of maybe 3 months, you're kind of changing things a little bit. 3-4 months, you're changing here, there, and there. 3 to 4 months is also a good time to at the end of that rerun your numbers and see, have these people unsubscribed, have these people dropped in their open rates, or has it stayed the same? Hopefully it has stayed the same or gotten better. Those would be kind of my two ways forward.
Hi there. I work with associations, trade and professional associations, and these are our audience are people who've bought into getting our messages, right? They pay dues to get our information. One thing that frustrates us is that we get a lot of bounces. We get a lot of quarantines after a while. We can't reach the audience that's expecting information from us. Are there any specific e-marketing tools that are better at not bouncing and quarantining? Is this just kind of the nature of the biz?
Yeah, it is the nature. There are, if you're doing this is not necessarily pertinent to this, but there's like email warming that you can do, email warming services that will make inboxes, because sometimes if a recipient email provider sees that it's coming from some kind of newsletter thing, it'll just kind of automatically, or it's judging based on the content that's within it. There's another kind of thing to sort of do some A/B testing on, is what content are you putting in the email? Is that affecting bounce rates at all? Is it image heavy or is it image weak? Are there emojis, are there not? But even more than that is like, what kind of links are in it? Because that could be affecting some bounce, some spam filtering. If you're putting maybe too many links, or if too many links are going different places. It is unfortunately sort of the nature of the beast. But the content within is a good way to do some A/B testing and look, if you're looking specific to bounce rates. That's one metric to, again, going back to maybe that 3-month, 4-month send time period. Really 1 month, one campaign is not enough to tell the difference month to month, but a quarter, if you're doing it a quarter or every 4 months, that is. But it's, bounces are everywhere. And a lot of times bounced emails are, and for those that aren't specifically know, bounced means that it's sent and it doesn't even make the person's inbox. Maybe it gets kicked over to spam or something, but the email just bounces right off, is why it's called that. So, it's a lot of ESPs will say, hey, these people have bounced, they're not good. And, it could be for a ton of reasons. So it isn't the nature of the beast.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you mentioned the magnet leads earlier. What would you recommend for a B2B service company to get those magnet leads?
B2B service,
so it's a bank.
A bank. A B2B, so and then their clients are other banks, or not other banks, other businesses.
So we have we have B2B and B2C, but
right.
Being a bank, it's difficult because of the regulations and whatnot, it's difficult to get those leads.
Yeah. And again, not being, familiar with the legality of like the financial industry specifically. I've seen, this was out in one that's always stuck out to me, and this was 9-10 years ago nowadays. I signed up for my credit union because they gave me free lift tickets for a ski resort out in Colorado. Using your local partnerships, and this was a Colorado-based credit union that was partnering with a Colorado-based ski resort. So kind of utilizing those partnerships can be good. Yeah, like lead magnets for banks. Is this a bank or credit union? Bank. There's, I kind of go to, this is now just kind of feels like a fun brainstorm, but is it, an account audit, or is it a, maybe again, like kind of going back to gift card or, utilizing some other kind of third-party partnership that's within the community, doing things like that. So that's kind of where my brain at least starts to go is taking care of the partners, the local community partners.
Sure. Any other question? Oh, yep, I see you.
Can you give us any general rules around frequency of emailing? How do we keep people engaged without flooding their inboxes and irritating them?
Yeah, that's another great example of A/B testing. You can, for my clients, a lot of times I'll do 2 a month. I don't, and this is again the cross section of people that I serve in food and bev, but this is also based on my own personal kind of tastes. I'll make one email of that month be a little bit more general, like here's just in general what's going on. I really don't like to use the word newsletter. It's got that connotation of being a newsletter, but it's the recap. It is a newsletter for all intents and purposes. And then another email will be specifically targeted about an event or about a specific discount or a specific sale that they're having. So one is higher level, and then one is a lot more targeted. It's another time to say, hey, we spent 3 months sending 2 emails a month, and then we're going to spend 3 months sending 1 email a month, and then which one was better, kind of overall, which led to that. It's really, you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you have enough to tell. It's really an organic process that if you have something going on once a week, then maybe it is worthwhile. Maybe your business relies very heavily on email and e-commerce, but by and large, I think 2 a month is good to start, and then even like trending towards less than that is a good place to at least begin. Yes, sir.
I just want you to walk again.
Okay.
I have a question about the email address itself. I noticed that you have a Gmail address.
Yes.
And instead of using Bryant@fullpourmedia.com.
I have both.
I'm just saying, in my inbox, Gmail addresses seem to get in, and a lot of spam stuff is the @whatever proprietary domain.
Other domains, yeah.
So is Gmail better to use for newsletters?
No, I would say newsletters, you should stick with a branded domain. It's a little bit more, it's professional. People with branded domains actually do have better response rates, better open rates through that. It's just how it is. And just larger general branding. Your Gmails and your Yahoos and your et ceteras do skew a little bit more personal. I put that up there for mine because I do have my Bryant at Full Pour Media, but obviously this caters to a little bit less food and bev clients, obviously. So I wanted to direct folks to that. But if you have your ESP, your email service provider, I don't think you can even send anything from an @Gmail. It would send, if you send it from anything, if you don't want to send it from your @FullPourMedia address, it'll send from sendmail.mailchimp.com. It'll do it from the MailChimp. You can't brand anything through like a Yahoo or a Gmail, if that makes sense. Yes, sir.
So you've mentioned A/B testing a few times.
Yes.
And so from the standpoint of, do you have any guidelines that you can provide on just sort of minimum cohort size that's useful for A/B testing?
Minimum cohort size. I'll tell you, full disclosure, my Full Pour specific email, I just started I just started practicing when I preach, so my own email list is about 140 people. I probably wouldn't A/B test on that. I would go maybe 500 at minimum. You could do it lower if you wanted to. 300, 350, whatever it is. But yeah, obviously the more people you have, the better cross section. Yeah, I would focus if you're under 500, under 1,000, really just focus on growing to that first, that being kind of like your first marketing goal is growing the list. And then we can work on obviously tagging and segmenting along the way, as you go. But then when you want to do your testing, do it at a larger cross section.
All right, I think with that, you can answer any questions if anyone wants
On one-on-one, yeah.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. What's that? To the other one? Maybe. Did I get rid of it? Sorry, I think I got rid of it. Here, sorry.
We do have a few wrap-up things. That's perfect. Thank you. If you could actually go to slide 11.
This one?
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a winner for the YOLA's gift card. If you could raise your hand loud and proud. She was our Forward Fest attendee that answered the first question. And then just a reminder for this month's blog recap to scan that QR code and share your notes with us for a chance to win a YOLA's gift card. The first person to share their notes with us will win that YOLA's gift card. I'll give you a moment to scan before I click. All right. If you're interested in becoming a speaker, volunteering, sponsoring, if you're a nonprofit or know a nonprofit and want to become a nonprofit spotlight, or you want to attend an event and are looking for a scholarship, scan this QR code or go to SMBMad.org to become more involved. We're always looking for more volunteers. Our next event, like I mentioned, is on September 18th, where we will be discussing how to upgrade your LinkedIn. We will have Chantel, Mulaney, and Dawn here at Dream Bank, as well as live streaming on Facebook and LinkedIn. Two important announcements that are very exciting, at least I think so, but I'm biased. We are now accepting nonprofit audit applications. So if you know a nonprofit or you yourself are involved in a nonprofit, this is for you. What we do is we accept 3 nonprofits and we do a social media audit free. So this is about a $2,000 value. And then in November, we will have that live. So the application window is it's open today through September 5th. And then thank you, Josh. I appreciate the love. All right, the next very exciting news is we'll be celebrating our 15th year anniversary. Yes. It is going to be the Madison Social Media Marketing Awards. Woo, woo! I'm excited. We will nominate your favorite Dane County small businesses, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits that have crushed it on social media this year, starting September 2nd. You are going to see more information on social media, hence why I plugged all of our lovely social media. That nomination window, like I said, opening September 2nd. There'll also be information on SMBMad.org. If you scan that QR code, you would have that information as well. So not only will you be able to nominate your favorite small businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs, but then there'll be a voting round, and we'll be having an event October 11th, 6 through 9 p.m., where we'll be giving away actual awards. And it'll be a full, fun, very demure event, if I must say so myself. Very considerate, very demure. Okay. All right, so we went over the gift card winners. And with that, thank you for attending. It was lovely seeing all the new faces and returning faces this morning.